Hi YouTube family, this is Queen Mother Shakoor, and I'm making this video giving a shout out to my fabulous African Queen single mothers out there. And the reason I'm making this video is because I want to wrap my arms around you, inspire you, and encourage you, and let you know how valuable you are in your role as being a single parent. Because we get such a bad rap from society and from the media. You know, anytime something bad happens when one of our sons does something, they're quick to point out that he grew up in a single family home with their mother. And so this video, I feel passionate about it, and I wanted to make it especially for you, for us, single parent African queens raising our young future kings and queens. And I want to share with you some tips, some suggestions, and what I do in raising my children that I feel that you can use right away and that I feel will help you in raising our young kings and queens, okay? So I made this video especially for you. I know that there are kings out there that are raising their children by themselves as well, and that'll be another video. This one is just for my African queens, okay? And because you've been doing this for thousands of years, yes you have, you've been doing this for thousands of years, this is nothing new, okay? Men have always gone to war and died. They usually die before we do. And so a lot of times, most oftentimes, we were left to raise the children. So you're not doing anything new or unusual or out of the ordinary or any of those things. And yes, it's better to have both parents in the home so that they have a good example of what a healthy and good relationship should be about. Okay, I have kind of a little my own opinion about those who do stay together and hate each other and crazy, and all the children here is cussing and fighting all the time. That's not healthy either. So for me, I'd rather have peace in my home and a good healthy relationship to show my young kings, future kings, how they should treat a woman, how what a woman brings to the relationship, the value she brings to a relationship, to be respectful, and all of those things. And so I want to share with you that because we are strong, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be masculine to be a strong black single mother. Yes, you have to be tough and show tough love to your children. That's a given. However, we also, I feel, need to remember our femininity and to be submissive. And we've been taught that that's a bad thing, that's a bad word. However, there's a way to be submissive without being a doormat or having a man walk all over you. Okay? And so you are so valuable. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that you are the most important person in this universe, because there is a lot of you. There's a lot of us raising our children. And even when you look at another dynamic of it, those who are married a lot of times are raising children. Just them by themselves. The husband works, and maybe he comes from a background that is all that is expected of him, and everything else is still on you. And in that respect, um, it would feel like you're a single mom, and so I understand that as well. But I just want to let you know that you're not alone, that there is support for you, and that don't let the media, the anyone, married woman or man, belittle you in any way because you are a single mother. You have a very important role, and you are raising awesome, people right now that you just don't know it right now, and they don't know it. You can know how young they are and the relationship that you have with them. So I wanted to make this video to give you a hug, to inspire you, to encourage you, maybe share some things with you. And the reason being is, well, a lot of people that meet my children have often asked me, how did you get children like this? They're so respectful. They know what they want to do. They're great students. Their teachers love them. People that meet them on the street, they're very confident. And they ask me, what are you doing? How did you raise children like this? And it's funny because for me, it was just they were my children, and they were just doing what I expect them to do and what I tell them to do, and it wasn't anything else. I'm old school, so if I tell you to do something, that's what you're supposed to do. And I didn't go for all this other stuff about, you know, uh, calling the police on me and all that kind of stuff. For 450 years, we've been in this country enduring all kinds of things, and they everything that we do, every thought that we had, someone else put that thought there. We haven't had an independent thought since we've been in this land, since we came over here and was made as slaves. Those of us who came over was made as slaves, and most of us are descendants of our grandparents who were slaves. And because of the conditioning that has happened with us throughout the generations, these things became embedded. For example, you were not allowed to raise your own children. You were not allowed to. You had that baby as a breeder. And once you had that baby, you weren't allowed to even suckle that child. You weren't allowed to care for that baby. You see? And so this behavior is still being carried out through these generations right now. I have been inspired to talk about this with you, to raise your conscious to an awareness of these things as to why we're behaving the way we're behaving with our children, and do whatever I can share with you. And maybe if I say one word that can inspire you, to spark inside of you, or make you aware of maybe you can make some adjustments in your relationship with your children. If you are pregnant, fall in love with that baby before that baby gets here. Talk to your child. That's my suggestion to you. I'm not telling you what to do, but this is what I did. And I was in love. I have four. I was in love with all four of them while I carried them. I really was. And when I brought forth that child, that to me was probably equivalent to the closest feeling that we can get to of what heaven would be like. Just that peaceful bliss type of feeling. So I fell in love with my baby. And if you are pregnant, if you have a small child, look at that child. Look at his eyelashes, the nose, the lips, and just fall in love with your baby, because they can feel that, because we're all energy. Okay? We've never had a chance, okay, to do this and to learn this. And so I feel that it's certain things that we need to relearn again. Us as African women need to relearn again, because a lot of the stigma and the sayings is that, we're so strong and we don't know how to relinquish that strength. And for the most part, that may be true. However, we had to be strong in this country because we endured a lot of things. And we had to be strong even for our children. We had to be strong for our men. And to this day, we're still being strong because we're kind of still in that position, but now we're just left alone with it. For sure, alone. And so I have some books that I suggest you read. And I know this encompasses a lot of things. If I can get you to start with yourself, because that's where it starts, with yourself, and really contemplate on what it means to love yourself, because that's where it's going to start, with you. Loving you. You can't love someone else if you don't love yourself. And depending on your upbringing, where you come from, maybe some issues that you need to work out, we can do that together, because you're not alone. And you can always contact me to talk to converse with, to ask questions, to make some suggestions yourself. And I invite those of you who are in the community who is doing this type of work to let's work together. I welcome that and want that, and we can go ahead and start to heal our community with our queens who are raising these children alone. You're not alone, you are loved. And I want you to really get in your heart that you are special and you are important. There's a lot of successful, strong black men that came from our beautiful, strong, single queens. Okay, a lot of them. Dr. Ben Clark, who was a neurosurgeon, they made a movie about him. He's still around speaking. He does speaking engagements around the city. He'll talk about his strong black mother. And he was a problem child, but she was a strong black woman, and she didn't let him get lazy and sit on himself. So you have to have that energy within you as well to do what it takes to raise our children. And they have created laws to make us afraid to tell our sons and our daughters the right things, and to be the disciplinarian that we need to be so that they stay on track. And we need to do that while they're young. We can't wait till they're 12 and 13. Not to say that we can't amend it. However, it's more challenging if you wait. Get it in while they're young. Give them lots of hugs, lots of love, along with that discipline. It can't just be the discipline. All that is stuff from slavery time. And my passion and desire is to brainwash you from those things and bring you back to your natural African spiritual self. And so with that, I want to just say that there are wonderful, strong men that have come from us single black African queens, like Dr. Ben Clark, like Usher, very successful singer, Tupac Shakoor, Ashur Kwazi, who is a scholar, a teacher, historian, specializing in Egypt. And we know who Tupac Shakur is, and we know who Usher is, just to name a few. I believe that Denzel Washington also was raised by a single parent. And did you know that Malcolm X's mother did come out of the mental hospital and was a huge influence in his life? And she was a brilliant woman and very strong and powerful. So we've always had this strength about us, and we still do. It's just taking that and channeling it in the right direction, so that should that man come in our lives, we still have our femininity about ourselves and know how to treat him and how to be strong and yet be the submissive woman, because that is our natural desire, is to be. No matter what society tell you, a woman likes to be submissive. So anyway, that's a side note. Uh, and some books that I want to recommend you read, and I suggest that you read, would be Raise Him Up. The name of the book is called Raise Him Up, and it's by Derek Moore and Stephanie Moore, by Derek and Stephanie Moore. And another book is called Black Snow. Black Snow. And that one was written by Julie Langston. Julie spelled Juli, Langston, Langston. And the reason I like these books is that, Black Snow will give you an inside viewpoint of living without two parents. So it's the child of a single parent, and the Raise Him Up gives you nice tips and scriptures. If you are a scriptural person, you like the scriptures, and stories of success. And so these books are encouraging, they're inspiring, and to let you know that no matter what the media portray you as, because our sons are doing what they're doing, there's so much that encompass that whole thing, that it's not just you. And I felt compelled and very passionate to make this video for you. One of the things that people ask me is, how did you raise children so respectful? And a lot of things went into that. I followed a lot of my own inner intuition and what the spirit in me, the goddess in me, led me to be able to deal with certain situations and express myself in a certain way with my children. However, I will give you 5 things that you can use right away. Whether you are in a good relationship with your teenager or if you're having some challenges right now, whatever the case may be, this will put you on that road of healing. And the first tip is to learn what it really means to love yourself, that you love yourself. Like, really contemplate on that, because you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself. Okay, it's just impossible. And so contemplate on what that is. Have me time. Have some time to yourself. You're single parents, you work, you have to pay the bills, you have to grocery shop, you have to cook, you have to pick everybody up, take everybody to school, help with homework, projects. It's a lot. And if you're like me, starting a business. So it entails a lot with that. So if you have to schedule that in, schedule it in, because you're important. You have to know that deep inside that you are important. You are valuable, very valuable. You're the most valuable element in the universe. You really are. And that's another story. And I'll go into that another time. So have some me time. Schedule that out for yourself. At least 2 times a week. Just chill. Whether it be to just don't be bothered with anybody for a while, or meditate, pray, read, or in the tub, whatever it might be. Listen to your children. If they're 2 or 3 years old and they want to tell you something, this is what I did with mine. I gave them my full attention no matter what I was doing, and I gave them full eye contact. And they do this with me to this day. And so, and they have no problem with eye contact even when speaking with other people. This is important, okay? Be interested in them. Be interested in what they think and how they feel about their lives and what's going on in their lives, and ask questions. They love that. And the best way to show somebody that you're interested is to ask questions. That's with anything in life. And expose them, those of us who are raising sons, expose them to strong black men via YouTube. Men like Dr. Umar Johnson, powerhouse. Dr. Booker T. Washington, I can't think of his spiritual name. Hiawatha, I believe it is. Hiawatha. Kwame Hiawatha, I think it is. Uh, just an awesome person to listen to. Dr. Ben Clark. Who else? Reverend Ray Higgins. So expose them. You can do that via YouTube. Brother Light, economics person. Uh, there you go. Books. I suggested some books earlier today. Denzel Washington wrote a book. I forget the name of it. You can expose them through books. Me and my children, one thing I would do as they got older, starting from the 6th grade, we had a book club. And so however long it took us to finish a book, one time we read a book, that book had like over 3,000 pages. And we set a goal that we would read a chapter a day. So a book, you know, your spiritual system, whether it be a church or the mosque or whatever it may be, you make sure there's some good men in there that tell them the right thing and do the right thing by them. Organizations and clubs, okay? That's channeling their energy so that they don't have idle time to be goofing off or getting in the wrong things, because they're busy. They're busy. When they're not home, you know where they're at. Okay? And that's a good thing. That works. So I'm going to sign off, and huge hug to you. Hug yourself, my single African queens, and I will see you next time.